Hi, I'm David Glasser. I'm the chairman of Ben Uri, and we have this exhibition called Uproar, the first 50 years of the London Group. Sarah McDougall with me is a co-curator and co-editor of the catalogue. The reason why we want to talk to you is very simple, because last week we made an initiative and put the front page of our website to a new landing page, which is essentially talking about the fact that the debate currently about immigration in this country, we think is out of kilter. We think it's lost the context that it needs within the overall concept of a cohesive multicultural society. And Ben Uri has made its front page about 10 different artists, all of whom were born abroad, and all of whom are now considered to be great British artists. And that's what our museum and museums across the United Kingdom celebrate. They celebrate great British artists. And I thought the way that we could try and explain to people who have asked why Ben Uri is getting involved in this debate in this manner is simply to take you around just the ground floor, this front room of this wonderful exhibition, and Sarah will explain to you the background of these artists. So for example, Sarah, tell us about this wonderful sculpture, please.
So this work is by Gaudier-Brzeska. Gaudier was born in France, indeed he died in France in 1915 in the trenches, and was in fact dead already before this work was shown at the London Group. However, he was a very important founder member of the group and made a great impact on British modernism during the brief time that he was able to show work in this country. He worked also with Jacob Epstein, who did the work next to it. Epstein, of course, was born in America, but came to Britain, settled here, and is considered also a British artist.
Could I just ask you, in auction sales, never mind the art historical scholarship books, but in auction sales, these artists are sold in European art sales or modern British art sales?
Generally modern British art sales.
Generally modern British art sales, because these are immigrants to this country who Britain have adopted as their own.
We also have other works here by, for example, Jacob Kramer.
Let's just have a look.
This is a wonderful work from 1924, which was shown in the first London Group retrospective in 1928. It caused an uproar because it was still debated as to whether a dead body was a suitable subject for art, although the precedence for this went back to Rembrandt. Kramer himself was part of the modern British movement for a while, and also made an impact within the London Group. But he was born in Ukraine and came over and settled in Leeds, where he is indeed very well known and celebrated. Another Ukrainian-born artist that we have in the show is Bernard Meninsky. He also came over and settled here, and both of these artists are associated with the group which became known as the Whitechapel Boys. Although neither of them was born or raised in Whitechapel, they were associated with a larger group which was an exhibition of Jewish artists co-curated by Bomberg and Epstein at the Whitechapel Art Gallery in May 1914, and that was designed to show the new movements in British art.
And can I ask you again, are these artists exhibited and sold within auction sales as European artists, Russian artists, or modern British artists?
Modern British artists.
Because this country has adopted these artists as our own, and the contribution that they have made to the great British art, 20th century art history is distinctive and recognised, but as great British artists. Let's just show you one more example and then perhaps we'll have made our point.
So over here we have a pair of works. This is Robert Bevan on the left, Stanislava de Karlovska on the right. They were married, and the London Group was the first time that they had a chance to show their work together, because Bevan, who was a member of the Camden Town Group, previously obviously had showed with that group, but women were banned from the Camden Town Group purely on account of their sex. They were allowed to become members of the London Group because it was progressive in that sense. Karlovska was born in Poland, Bevan was born in England, trained in France, but Karlovska and he married and she settled in this country, and once again she's known as a modern British artist.
and sold and recognized as a modern British artist. That's why we hope that other people will follow our leads and take as a front page, a landing page on their own websites, whether they be individuals, whether they be companies, whether they be cultural institutions, and just celebrate the contribution within their specific organization of a multicultural society. That's all we're saying. Just some balance, please, that immigrants and immigration is a positive feature of British society.